What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy, the one and only Jodeci Dion, and I'm coming to you with another out from the side of my neck short. As you can see, I'm in my usual spot, waiting for my son to get out of college as I pick him up, and so I'm just here chilling, gonna holler at y'all for a little bit with several topics that's on my mind, that's been on my mind. As you know, it's been a minute since I've done a video, but you know how life is, man. It's always things going on. The first thing I want to talk about is the release of Resident Evil 9 Requiem for the Nintendo Switch 2 tomorrow. I hope all of you who are wanting to buy it, who are capable of buying it, do so. It's always important to buy new games as they come out to support the console of your of choice, to support the third-party software developers who make these games, especially if they're good games, if they're popular games, if they're quality games. This could be one of the first time that the Nintendo Switch get a first day release as its competitors, as its rivals, the PS5 and the Xbox One. So it's definitely something, I hope you guys go out there and support. I plan to buy the game, but unfortunately, due to recent events, I will not be able to get it day one, but I should be able to get it hopefully sometime next week. I did already pre-order it, so hopefully, I'll keep my copy saved. And like I said, I will definitely venture to get it. And mind you, I'm not even buying it because I play Resident Evil games like that, because I don't. It's not really been a franchise or a genre game I've really been into, you know what I'm saying? But I bought a lot of them out of the sole fact of supporting the third-party developer and supporting my console of choice, the Nintendo console at the time. Um, Sorry about that. Got a little noise, construction going on over here. But the main thing is, like I said, we still Nintendo. Unfortunately, definitely since the N64 generation, we're always going to be in this have to prove ourselves to these third party developers when it comes to getting games made. They've spent generations making exclusive content for PlayStation, but then also just making games on comparable consoles, on comparable devices. They don't want to take the effort or have the resources to make in their opinion, a downgraded version for a Nintendo console at the time. Either that 64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch. But now with the Switch 2, we now have a console, we now have a device that's comparable in power, in specs, in the developing tools used to make the games, across the board. It's on the low end compared to your high end consoles, but still, the downgrade overall is not that, it's not that leaps and bounds. You know what I'm saying? The games are definitely within range. And if you're a person who owns maybe only a Nintendo Switch 2, you're not missing out much. You know what I'm saying? You're not missing out at all. You're going to get the same game, just like I said, lower specs in certain areas. Um, if you have a PS5 Pro, hey, buy it on that. Buy it on what you feel like you want to play. You're going to get the best experience. If you care about, having the best version of the game and you're going to play it on television, then do it. Buy a PS5 Pro version of the game. If you have the Switch 2, and yeah, you may lose quality compared to the PS5 Pro, but the ability to play it anywhere you go, handheld mode is what really entices you to buy that version. Do that. But either way, as a Nintendo fans, we definitely need to send a message buying these games, especially these type of games, especially these major AAA third-party games, buy them day one and buy them in massive numbers. Now, I don't expect us to I don't expect us to buy more copies of the games than the PlayStation fans, because the user base, device to device wise, is way bigger. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that there's enough of us on our console to buy more versions of that game than the Xbox fan base, just because I don't personally think they buy a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? So we can definitely outdo them. You know, do I expect it? No, but do I hope so? Yes. So that's that topic. Definitely pick up a Resident Evil 9 Requiem for the Nintendo Switch 2 or your device of choice tomorrow, do it. My next topic I will talk about real quick is just what's currently going on in the industry. We have a PlayStation shutting down another second party developer of theirs, Blue Point, out of Texas, out of Austin, Texas, I believe. They did a lot of remasters or remakes for PlayStation in general. That was their purpose, and now they're gone. Um, Unfortunately for the company, for the software developer, but this is business. This is what it is. Sony made that choice, and PlayStation made that choice, and they got to, it's like I say, it is what it is. I've seen a lot of people clamoring for Nintendo to maybe pick up the company somehow, or this some of the developers, because they used to work for Retro back in the day, and then being located in Austin, it's make an easy transition. It don't really matter to me one way or another. From what I understand, a lot of them were former Retro developers who left and formed their own company. In my opinion, it seemed like maybe they just didn't want to be under the Nintendo umbrella, because when you work for Nintendo, you have to do certain things the Nintendo way. Nintendo, they're going to be on your back. They're going to be on you, making sure you follow their guidelines and follow the decisions they make. There's not a lot of freedom. Your job is to basically do what they say. You know, and a lot of Western developers, they want the freedom to kind of do what they want. But when you're working for a company that's paying for basically everything involved, the reason you're still even around is because they pay for the building you're in. They're paying your developers. They're providing you with the tools and everything like that. You're doing a job. You're doing a job. If you want to make your own games, be an indie developer, where you're spending all the money, using all your resources to come up with everything. But like I said, that's neither here or there. We'll see what happens with that. Another thing that happened recently, Xbox, they fired their president, of the Xbox brand, a black lady named Sarah Band. Also, Phil Spencer, he's retired. He's left. Xbox going to, they brought in some new people. They're definitely going in a new direction, as it seems. My only concern with that is just the propaganda that's being pushed recently with that. There's a reporter named Tim Warren, I believe his name is. He's come out with an article basically saying that the reason Xbox has been stuck in the past 3 or 4 years is because Sarah Band, she was in charge of everything, and she was the one pushing for all these ideas and these development ideas and just marketing ideas and everything. She's the reason why the Xbox brand has fallen into the state it's in currently, and we all know that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We're in a day and age right now, due to social media, due to the YouTube algorithm. You see with our presidency, what's going on. There are a lot of talking points being pushed out there. DEI, feminism, woke, red pill, you know what I'm saying? This kind of stuff going on. And the gaming audience, they latch on to these talking points, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. The majority of the audience who buy these games are white males. And the white males, currently right now in this country, they feel a certain way. And we all know what it is. And so if you tell them that a black woman in charge of your company is the reason why you're not getting a good Halo game, or they're censoring certain things, they're doing certain things, they're going to fall in line with that. They're going to definitely say, hey, you're right. She's ruining our games. Get her out of there. That's why my games suck, because she's come in and done that. You know what I'm saying? And you see that across the board even with Nintendo. They recently hired a new face, a new president, I guess, whatever her name is. I can't think of her name. I know it's Pritchard. Her last name is Pritchard. But she's now the face of, she took over for Doug Bowser, who took over for Reggie Fils-Aimé. She's now the face of Nintendo of America. She really has no power because there's still someone over her, you know, but still she's the current face of Nintendo of America. And as you saw with the grifters online, they're running with anytime anything's done that's considered woke or DI, they're gonna say it's her. She's the reason it's happening, you know. And like I said, you know, that's unfortunately that's what's going on because of the user base. You know, when you got a user base of a certain demographic who feels a certain way due to their beliefs, their politics, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna run with these narratives. And I'm just stating this for the people out there who know better, but just man to man, don't fall for the bullshit. Think for yourself, look up the facts, figure things out for yourself. You know, don't run with the narratives. Don't be a lemmy and follow, the line. You know what I'm saying? With Sarah Ban, we all know that the Xbox initiative was their place way before she joined them. And she's just been used as a scapegoat because, they don't want to take responsibility for the decisions they made. Xbox, Microsoft has fucked up. They've been fucking up since the 360. And even then, that was a fluke because they haven't been able to, duplicate that success. You know what I'm saying? But the Xbox brand has been fucking up for generations. And they know that the user base is getting tired of it. But they still want to find a way to get you to support them for another generation, to keep on supporting them. And so they're going to do whatever they need to do to basically hopefully keep you within their ranks. You know what I'm saying? Think for yourself. Yeah, there's times when, we've seen people come in with agendas and it have effect on our games. That Anita Sarkeesian, whatever her name was, that lady came out years ago. She had an agenda, and we saw it have an effect on our games. You know what I'm saying? The Me Too movement, all these kind of things we've seen. Yes, these things can have an effect on our games. At the same time, like I said, don't be out here hate mongering. Use some sense, use some common sense and everything. But look into it for yourself. Try to figure things out for yourself to really see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really got anything else for y'all, man. Like I said, I'm here. I just want to get this video out, get my thoughts out there. What's currently going on with gaming. Nintendo. We're entering March, and I know a lot of you guys are disappointed. There hasn't been a Nintendo first party direct. But like I said, we're still in the first year of Switch 2. They've already done a lot, in my opinion, with the games released, with the content provided on the console, with the little things they've been doing. They've already done a lot. I feel positive about the console. Don't fall for these guys who came in during the Switch 1 success, and they got huge followings, and they're making content. Question anybody who's come in, who's become popular, any Nintendo content creator who's come in only during the time Nintendo is successful, you question them. They're not, in my opinion, they're not fans. If they weren't doing content way before, if you can't go back 2 generations, 3 generations with them, you question them. Because all they're doing is jumping on the bandwagon. It's a new hot thing. It's a successful thing. It's a thing that's getting all the views. And so they're going to, it happened with the Wii. We had a huge following of guys come in with the Wii. And when the Wii U came out and it started, not performing and it wasn't a success, it wasn't the hype moment, they jumped off. Either they dropped YouTube altogether or they became a multi-console gamer where they're doing PS5 or PlayStation content or Xbox content. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying you can't be a multi-console gamer and do content across the board, but pay attention to these guys who have these Nintendo focused channels, and now all of a sudden they're talking a lot of negative stuff. Because in their opinion things are not hot. Nintendo's not the one right now. You know what I'm saying? They're not setting trends as they were. Watch them. Eventually they're going to pivot. When the PS6 come out or the next Xbox move or Steam Deck, whatever, they'll start focusing on that content. Watch those guys. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing the reason I brought that up is, if you know Nintendo, if you've been a long time Nintendo fan, longer than 2 generations, easily, 3 generations, you know how they do things. We're about to enter March. What happens in March? March 10th, Mario Day. We're in the 40th anniversary of Mario. We have the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out in April. That's when they're gonna make big. That's when they're gonna do big news. That's when they're gonna make big noise. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for the BS. Use common sense. Just in general, if you're a gamer, use damn common sense in every facet of it. When it comes to the business, when it comes to just the entertainment, when it comes to just playing games, use common sense. Well, that's it for now. Hope y'all enjoy me rambling for 15 minutes. I'll see you guys next time. This your boy, the one and only Jodeci Dion. Peace.